This is a special show this evening on Agree to Disagree. I've been asked to come and moderate a feisty night between Conspiracy Catz and Creaky Blinder. They are going to be at each other's throats. I can just feel it now. We're going to have 3 topics to discuss. I shall reveal them as we go along. But first of all, let's introduce our 2 guests, Creaky Blinder and Conspiracy Catz. How are you guys doing?
I'm here ready to win, so you needn't bother. But if we must,
I'm looking forward to. Can I just say I'm honoured to be a guest on what surely is going to be Creaky Blinder's final ever YouTube appearance. I am amazed to have the chance to be the one who finishes him off. And hang on, that. Let me rewind that.
Hey,
I wouldn't be so sure, because what you've got to remember is I can do this anytime I want. So really, I've got an unfair advantage. But best let you back in for now, I suppose. Let you lap up your final hours on YouTube.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant stuff. So what we're going to do, like I say, we've got 3 topics that we are going to debate today. First of all, though, just introduce yourselves, please. Creaky Blinder.
Well, I do I need to introduce myself? You know,
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the Creaky Blinder is, especially this lot in the side chat, and why wouldn't they? You know, regular uploads to YouTube, a regular live stream every week. I don't need to say any more than that, really. It's self-evident. That
is. Similar to Catz, I will give you an opportunity to introduce yourself if you wish.
I will. My name is Conspiracy Catz. In the evenings, I'm a YouTuber. In my daytime, I operate as an Idris Elba lookalike.
Oh my god! Excellent stuff. Excellent. Right, so I think we should jump straight into it, really, guys.
I'm ready. Are you
fighting ready? Fighting fit?
Oh yeah.
Brilliant stuff. So I'm going to ask Catz to go first on this one. Basically, the topic is: should non-football fans be shot? So I'm going to allow Conspiracy Catz 5 minutes to put his point across.
And I need to learn how to screen share first. So I'm going to do that just now. Share screen. Okay. Am I sharing? Are we up and running yet?
No, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So me and Creaky Blinder had a huge falling out. It was really, really vitriolic about football, and Creaky is not a football fan. I'm a big football fan. And the reason I'm a big football fan is because football isn't just a form of entertainment. It's what underpins our national culture and our society and our economy. If we start here on the first slide, £30,000 per year per pub is what the Premier League brings in when people who are in pubs are there to watch the football. Football adds a massive amount to the economy of, which is so important at the minute, with people losing out money. Not, you know, when everything gets back to normal, football is going to play a real big part in bringing the nation back on its knees. But not only that, all right. If we have a look at this here, I dug this out because I've done my high IQ research and I had lots of tabs open. And what I found out was that statistically, a Sunday is one of the deadliest days of the week. There's more violent crime on a Sunday. There's more murder on a Sunday. There's more anything that's nasty on a Sunday. And you've got to ask yourself, why is that? Right? Sunday is the furthest day from next Saturday when the football happens. And everybody's really upset and angry that they've got to wait to get to the football because football makes our life better. Right? There should be more football, not less football, because there'll be less crime. And can I actually build upon that? Well, I think I can. Because if we look at this, the crime figures if we look at December 1995, what do we see? These were the highest instance of violent crime that we've had in our recent history. And what happened in the football in December 1995? I'll show you what happened. I'll show you what happened. Check this out. They were doing midweek full program Premier League fixtures on a midweek where people couldn't go and watch it. They were depriving the people of the Saturday football, and that's why the violent crime shot through the roof. Football was keeping people away from violent crime, and then it was robbed from them. What else has happened in the absence of football? Well, before Premier League football started, the 1817 to 1824 cholera pandemic. That happened in the absence of Premier League football. Right? The Great Plague, 1665. Right? The Black Death. We know how horrible that was. That happened in the absence of Premier League football. But since football has become professional, what have we had? We've had smartphones. We've had the internet. We've had man walking on the moon. We've had Count Arthur Strong, and we've had dinosaur-shaped condoms. All of those things have appeared at the time when football has been around. And why is that important? Or why do I link it to football? Because of this proper study here. I've brought a proper peer-reviewed scientific study, Creaky, a proper one, from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, which says that people operate better with more confidence and are more productive when their football team actually wins something. And that is what's driven the technological and economic growth of this country since football became a permanent fixture at the turn of the 20th century. So if you don't like football, I'm sorry, you do deserve to be shot. And that's my 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much for that opener there, Conspiracy Catz. Father Creakmas, if you would like to present your evidence that football is shite.
I most certainly will. I need to just hydrate myself because I've got a lot to say on the topic, and I've spoilt my surprise, but I can make a PowerPoint presentation as well, and this is my first and only slide that is needed to support and solidify my side of the argument. Really, I could say nothing and just sit here and bask in the glory of my victory for the next 5 minutes, but I won't. If you want to watch football, stay in the house. Don't go to the pub, because not everyone likes football. I don't want to be sat at a table in Swansea's finest eating establishment, Wetherspoons as it's known, and have a bunch of idiot football supporters screaming and shouting about how brilliant their team is, while all the men are running around kissing and hugging each other and just behaving like children, all whilst getting paid £5 million a week each. It just really annoys me. If you want to watch football, stay in the house. Don't go to the pub, and especially don't go to the pub that Father Creakmas is in, because it really does piss me off. And I've never sworn on YouTube before, but just stay in the house. It's ridiculous. Overpaid. They're sickeningly handsome. I will give them that. But I just can't see why. Yeah, what size telly have you got, Mr. Conspiracy Catz? I bet you've got a big one, haven't you?
I have a 65-inch TV.
I guessed you'd have a big one. It's something to do with the way you sit, but I just knew. You've got what size TV has your pub got? I bet it hasn't got a 65-incher. I bet it's a black and white portable on the end of the bar, isn't it? Because you live in England.
Well, I don't know.
My 5 minutes. Don't forget who's got the. I can beep and fuss and fart and do anything I want. I got all the buttons.
Okay, but you lie, and I can interrupt you if you lie. That's what Howard said to me last week.
Hold it in, Catz. Hold it in. It's Creaky.
But have I lied? Have I lied? Is it fair that if there's 100 people in the pub, 98 of them want to watch the match and 2 of them don't? Surely it should be the minority that get the final vote. If 2 people don't want to watch, if it's not unanimous, then no, turn the football off. Put EastEnders on or Dancing on Ice. Anything but football, especially if it's an English football team. That makes it worse. I can just about stomach Welsh football, even though we're not very good at it. Oh, damn, I meant to press my bleeping button then. But definitely not English football. Definitely not. It's bad enough being partnered with an Englishman in a YouTube channel. I don't want to watch English people playing football as well. I don't need to say anymore. Just I'm just gonna leave you with this.
So that's your rebuttal there, Creaky.
That is.
So
and I know I won, so you know, if both you English people are gonna gang up on me, then that's just Welsh.
Well, what I would suggest now is if you guys, I think you should have a bit of a back and forth now.
Go on, then.
I would suggest Catz go first, as he went first on the showing his evidence. So up to 10 minutes of rebuttals.
Right. What I want to say is essentially Creaky's made my own argument for me. I showed you very solid evidence at the beginning that the economy is boosted by football in pubs. And essentially what Creaky is saying is he doesn't want the pubs to get that money. He wants the pubs to go out of business. He wants the children of those landlords and landladies who go in the pubs not to be able to buy, socks and hats. And then when they go to school, get bullied for not having socks and hats. And those kids can turn to drugs and alcohol and murder and stuff like that. And I just don't know why he would admit publicly that he's looking to drive young children to murder. I think it's disgusting.
The only pubs I want to see shut down are the ones who refuse to turn the football off when I ask. The rest of them are fine. As long as I'm not in there. I'm not saying that football shouldn't be watched in pubs full stop, just that they shouldn't be watched in pubs when I'm there.
So again, you've just proved my point. You want to be the cause of those pubs losing money and their children going to murder. That's literally just what I said. You want to be the cause.
Show football, yeah. Definitely, without a doubt. Because football is just really stupid waste of time.
I'm going to show you something else as well. I'm just going to share my screen one more time. Because I don't think it's not just the economy you want people to die, genuinely die. Here, there are scientific studies that say devoted football fans who are at the ground can experience levels of stress that are that dangerous. Okay, it can put them at risk of having a heart attack. All right. So while these fans are at the ground supporting the economy, they may have the risk of a heart attack. So we want to put those fans into a pub where there's a more relaxed atmosphere, where they can have a beer, where they can calm themselves down, and they're not going to be at risk of having a heart attack. And they are doing good for the country. They are boosting the economy. They are becoming more productive. You seem to want to stop that happening. And to be honest, everybody in the chat, because I'm watching the chat, is asking, where's your evidence for whatever it is you're saying?
It's here. There's not that many words on it. You're a brainy science guy. Surely you can understand. Here is my evidence. Football is shit. I even put a picture like you do on your stupid PowerPoint, so you know what it meant. And anyway, so you were saying that people with bad hearts are going to the pub to watch football. Bit irresponsible, isn't it? If you've already got a bad heart, why would you want to get overly excited and drink beer at the same time? That's just self-harm, in my opinion.
Maybe I'll counter your question with some scientific peer-reviewed evidence, shall I? Let's do this again. Here.
You can laugh.
See, it's not on the screen yet, is it?
No.
Now,
oh, yeah. Right.
Some peer-reviewed scientific evidence will answer your question. Why should these people with bad hearts go to the pub to watch the football? Well, because I said obviously it's too dangerous to go to the ground because they might have a heart attack and die. But listen, rejoice. It says that. It says rejoice. Be happy. A study conducted by the University of Leeds, which is a proper university. They have a proper university, and Bet Victor, we'll forget those, right? Has revealed the potential benefits, health benefits of watching football. And this study goes on to show how watching a football match for a passionate fan raises the heart level enough to be the equivalent to a moderate cardiovascular workout. So in other words, they're improving their health and boosting the economy and keeping people out of violent crime. What's not to love?
So I would have liked to have kept that. Could I have your slide on the screen so I can dissect it?
No.
The slide we were just looking at?
What slide? Have you any evidence that I presented a slide?
Well, I will have on the replay. But
okay, well, in that case, I'll put it back up.
Play ball, Catz.
Because I want to know, first of all, who this Ray Joyce bloke is who wrote this study. The first word I don't I've never heard of him. But so the health benefits of watching football, the heart rate goes up, it's positive mindset and all that nonsense. It's none. So going to the ground is far too dangerous. Okay, I'll concede on that point. It is. Going to the pub is it's not as dangerous. Again, I'll give you that. It isn't as dangerous as going to the ground. But both those things are way more dangerous than staying in your own house, not disturbing Father Creekmas's dinner, and watching it on your 65-inch TV. So I don't know what else to say.
Well, this is where I point out again the heroic act of the people. This is where I point out the heroic act of people who are going to... Because I keep asking the point, and I'm going to stick on it because you haven't addressed it yet. I keep hammering home the point that these football fans are supporting the economy of the country and ultimately keeping people out of violent crime and murder. Right? And I've shown you statistics. I've shown you the correlation between football and the Black Death. I've shown the correlation between cholera and football. I've shown you that football makes the world better and the economy better. I don't know why you keep insisting that you don't want those things to get better. Seems very selfish, Creaky.
Well, I suppose it is kind of selfish, but why should I care about the economy of the country based on football when our own government don't seem to? So why should I?
Well, I mean, I don't know what to... Like, surely there's a fallacy in what you've just said there. You've committed a fallacy. Which fallacy is he just committed, Seek Truth?
Just fallacies all around, I'm afraid, is all I'm hearing at the minute.
Felicia. This is a fallacious debate.
Do you not like, could I just ask a moderator's question? Do you not like football, Creaky, because Wales are rubbish?
I don't like football because football's really stupid. But I don't even know if Wales are good at football or not. I don't care enough to want to know.
Nah.
I don't like rugby either, so don't try bringing rugby into the debate just because it's another Welsh game. I think it's very selfish of 98% of the public to want to watch football in a pub when probably 97.95% of those people have got TVs in their house. Stay in your house and watch it. I'm not being selfish. You were being selfish by disturbing me in the pub.
Listen, all I can say to that is, if you think I'm selfish by wanting to boost the economy, keeping people out of violent crime, stopping murder, stopping a reoccurrence of the cholera epidemic and the Black Death, if you think I'm selfish, one of those things, guilty. Guilty is charged.
Is that an admission of defeat? Because it should be.
It was a sarcastic victory dance.
My argument is far superior.
No independent variables. He's not shown how he manipulates any of his independent variables at all. Right. So what independent variable did you wiggle to show that I'm selfish? What did you wiggle?
I'll wiggle my variable once the stream is finished. Don't you worry. But I don't need to trouble myself with nonsense like proving my point. I just know I'm right. It really is that simple. I don't need it's for you to prove I'm wrong, not for me to prove you are wrong. You know, I am saying it's selfish to have football on in the pub, and I'm right. I don't care what you say. It doesn't make any difference to me at all, because you can't show me bags of money that prove it helps the economy. They could go to Tesco's and buy 4 cans of Carl's Fostersberg or whatever it's called and drink it in the house.
I just want to point out that during this debate, I obviously have shown my evidence. I've shown it. You've all seen my evidence. But what I did, because I didn't want to put you, I didn't want to do you disservice, is while this debate has been on, I've kept a record of all the evidence you've provided, and I'd like to compare it with mine. My evidence was a PowerPoint slide that we've just seen with all the links to violent crime and the economy. Your evidence that I've just totaled up is here, okay?
No, it's not. No. My evidence is there. I had a slide as well with words, pictures, nice back, everything. Everything.
Well-
So why is my evidence not hold as much weight as yours? It seems to me, Mr. Conspiracy Cats, that you seem to regard your own evidence as being highly valuable, but you don't put much weight on my evidence because it goes against your ridiculous belief that football should be allowed to be watched in a pub.
Now you're getting it. Now he's got it. Now you've got it.
No.
Thank you. He's got it. Right. Well, there we go. I'll take that as a victory for me.
I would say, well, that is officially the end of the 10-minute sort of back and forth. So I'm going to actually ask the chat who they thought won. So if I could see a number 1 for Creaky and a number 2 for Catz.
Because he's a big shit. That's why he's number 2.
And I'm going to look in the chat and then we'll see who won. So obviously, yeah, guys in the chat, if you want to vote there, 1 for Creaky, 2 for Catz. I'll keep an eye out. The second topic that we are going to discuss, and I'm going to ask Creaky to go first on this one, is the new Star Wars films are shite. And Creaky is going to be defending this, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, up to sort of 5 minutes to state your case that the new Star Wars films are good.
So I could be an idiot and just say they just are good, which is what I think. They're absolutely fantastic. I really don't see, so as the Star Wars story has progressed throughout time, I can remember watching A New Hope when I was a small kid in the 70s. It was on TV one Christmas, and that was my first experience of Star Wars, and I've loved it ever since. And I've watched them multiple times. I know a reasonable enough amount about Star Wars, and then the prequels were launched. Absolutely fantastic. It all made sense. It all ties in with the story. And then Disney got involved and the new films came out and everybody lost their shit. Oh, these are rubbish. They're not. They're not. Because they're all part of the story. Now, I'm sure we must have some sensible people in the side chat, people who like Star Wars, and more importantly, like the new version. Not the new version, sorry, the movies that have happened since Disney had hold of the Star Wars franchise. And I literally cannot fault anything about any of the films. They've stayed true to the look of the films. They still look like Star Wars films. There's still some familiar characters in there. Admittedly, they do come in and out. Han Solo came and went, and if you haven't seen them all, apologies for the spoilers, but I just can't see what there is to dislike about the new. I don't see why people seem to think Disney have spoiled it. They've just taken what was already a brilliant franchise and brought it up to date and continued the story in the same way. I think, it's become now like the Star Wars universe, like the Marvel universe is a thing that, they're building and developing the Star Wars universe. And I just think that the films are going to get better and better, the more of them. And we're going to learn more about, the backstories of sort of characters from the older films. And I just think it's only good for the franchise. And I really, really don't understand why people have got an issue with the new films. Now, I know some people will say, yeah, but, because there's so many special effects being used in the new films, it's taken away from the traditions of the way the films were made. But that's just progress. If you watched a brand new release in January 2021, that's got nothing to do with any, it's just a brand new film, and it was filmed in the same sort of way that Star Wars was filmed back in the 70s, everybody would be freaking out. Oh my God, look at it. This film is so old fashioned, it's crap. And, I just can't see how a gigantic company like Disney taking something that was already great and making it even better is a bad thing. And I have prepared a slide for this, but I really don't think at this stage I need it, because just the two words Star Wars. It's just, have you ever met somebody who doesn't know what Star Wars is? No, unless of course they lived under a rock or think that rocks are dinosaur giants and all that nonsense. Hi, Roger. But apart from that, it baffles me when people say they don't like the new Star Wars films. If you don't like the new films, the Disney films, you're not a real Star Wars fan. And do I need to bring up The Mandalorian? I was going to save it for the back and forth. Completely separate story, but it ties in so well to all the movies. You know, the older ones from the 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, right the way through. The Mandalorian has got it makes sense with all of those films. There's references to all of those films, all the you know, the various characters from the film. I just think Disney are doing a fantastic job, and they're gonna just the films are just gonna keep better and better. And I'll close with this, Catz, the Star Wars hater. Have you ever interviewed one of the people who played Darth Vader on your channel live? Oh, that's right. No, you haven't, because you're a loser and I'm not. I'm done.
Cool. Right. Excellent opener there. I will just tell everyone the winner of the first debate was Father Creekmas. Conspiracy Catz did come close, but all of those votes actually came from him, so I've discounted all of those votes.
He's going already, is he? I didn't think it would be this easy.
Conspiracy Catz has officially lost a debate.
I know. It was bound to happen, and I just knew I was the man to do it. Football in a pub. Really? Listen, the pubs in Wales is he pouting? Is he going full Oakley? That's stupid jumper on. You know, pubs in Wales, we can't even sell alcohol at the minute. So why the hell would we want people not drinking and watching football? It's bad enough when they're drunk and watching it.
Sorry,
but
guys,
that probably makes them more annoying. Do you need a tissue or something, Catz? Or
how do you feel, Cat?
How do I feel? Sorry, I missed what you said just before I left. What did you say?
You unfortunately lost the debate, mate.
I'm fine with that. Not a problem. No emotion, mate. Not a problem. I'm gonna win this one. I'm gonna win this one. I can feel it.
Here's your opportunity.
I've been watching the side chat, and there's a lot of real Star Wars fans watching. So go on.
Up to a 5-minute opener now from Catz.
He probably wants his PowerPoint up first.
I do want my PowerPoint.
And then send it over, you big baby. Just because you got the same hairstyle as a baby, you don't need to act like one.
Oi, careful.
Yeah, shut up, Curly.
Let me know when my time has started, kind moderator.
Your time started 4 minutes ago. No, we're starting now. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Like a lot of people, I would say that I'm a massive, massive Star Wars fan. I'm not here to debate that Star Wars is brilliant. I'm here because Star Wars is brilliant, and Disney seem to be wanting to put, replace little cherries on the icing with little poos. Let me have a look here. The Last Jedi, the worst offender of all of these new films, has the lowest audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes of any Star Wars film. The lowest audience rating. And it's not low enough. For those of you that don't know why people hate the new films, check this out. Luke Skywalker was a legend to people like me. When I grew up, Luke Skywalker was an absolute hero, and I couldn't wait to see him in the new films. I really couldn't wait to see him in the new films. It was going to be the biggest moment of my adult life at the cinema. So I went to the cinema to watch The Force Awakens, and he wasn't fucking in it. Excuse my language. He wasn't in it at all. We waited until the very, very last scene of The Force Awakens, and then he just appears, doesn't smile or anything, and that's it. Now, that put me on suspense for 2 years, thinking, what's Luke Skywalker going to do? He has to come back now and be the hero of the next film. After making us wait through an entire film to just appear at the end, and the whole film was about finding him, he has to come back and take that franchise by the scruff of the neck. and drive it on to something absolutely spectacular. And I couldn't wait. The shine was taken off a little bit because he decided to kill Han Solo, robbing us of the chance to see Luke and Han ever again on screen together, which again was pretty heartbreaking. However, Luke was back. He was here, and he was gonna drive that Star Wars universe forward. I couldn't wait. So the start of the Last Jedi happens, and he gets handed his lightsaber. We all wanted to see him take that lightsaber and go and fight Kylo Ren. But what did he do with it? He tossed it away like it was a pair of underpants with a brown mark on. He wasn't interested. He didn't care about the lightsaber. Everybody in the cinema is thinking, what the hell's going on? And he stormed off. But where did he storm off to? He stormed off to drink some green milk out the tits of that thing there. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it... He didn't want to go anywhere. He didn't want to have anything to do with anyone. He turned into like a teenage version of, I don't know, like a teenage whingy version of some old man. He was useless. To solidify how useless he was, he then gets his ass kicked by Rey in a fight when she'd gone to him so he could teach her how to fight. And she kicks his ass in about 30 seconds. He'd become like a wasted up drug addict alcoholic who wasn't on drugs or alcohol. He was just below worthless. But that's all right, because at the end of the film, he gets to go and fight Kylo Ren and save the day. Except he's not actually fighting Kylo Ren. He's sat on a rock. And guess what? Sitting on a rock and not fighting Kylo Ren turns out to be more dangerous than going and fighting Kylo Ren, because sitting on a rock killed him. That's right, the big showdown we were waiting for that didn't happen, because he got out of it and didn't want to fight him, that's what killed him. So he didn't fight the bad guy and still died after being on the island doing nothing. But that's okay, because the film had other redeeming points. It also trashed his legacy by showing us a memory of where he wanted... Oh, by the way, there's spoilers to the film if anyone's not seen it in this. He also trashed his own memory by trying to kill his own nephew because he had a bad feeling about him. But that's all right, because we had Princess Leia. Except we didn't, because she was blown up at the beginning of a film, blasted out into space, and then doing a Mary Poppins pose. She literally Mary Poppinsed her way through space into the spaceship, in which she's basically spent the rest of the film in a coma, doing nothing. So all three of our heroes have been destroyed in that film, and unfortunately, obviously, we'll never get the chance to see them together again. But that's all right, because we've got Rey, the new star. Who's Rey going to be? We were going to find out in this film. Was she a Skywalker? Was she a Kenobi? Well, she gets told by Kylo Ren in this film that she's absolutely nobody. So that scratches that dream off as well. We're not looking forward to finding out who she's in the next film, because we've been told that she's nobody. A gaffe even that the Star Wars writers realised was that bad. They had to rewrite it. But who else do we have? Oh, the film will be saved, though, because we have perhaps one of the greatest Star Wars villains of all time. One of the most powerful Sith we have ever seen on screen. Maybe the film could become about him and Kylo. Maybe that'll save it. Except it doesn't, because a third of the way through the film, they kill him for no reason, and we never see him again. We build him up to be this great thing who's just shot down and never mentioned again. Just gone. The film is about this. A purple-haired woman with the longest neck I have ever seen in human biology or anatomy. And I haven't stretched that picture out. I don't even know how that is possible without special effects. This woman, who comes from nowhere with her purple hair, is in command of a ship that is running away from this. This is one of the Empire's deadliest starships. And she's running away from that massive ship in this tiny, tiny little ship here. But she manages to run away from this huge ship for the entire film in this tiny, teeny little ship. And her plan is to keep running away until they run out of fuel. And that's her plan, to run out of fuel. And something might happen. So maybe the next Han Solo, Poe, the next guy, maybe it could be about him. Maybe he could be the hero who steps up. And what he says is he wants to take an attack and just full-on frontally attack this galactic Empire ship. He wants to be a hero and take it down. But you know what? No, this woman says, screw you, you're not doing that. And she has him arrested. And the plan is still just to run out of petrol and hide. Now, somewhere in the midst of all this, these two, whose names I've even forgotten now that bad, for no reason whatsoever, manage to escape the ship in a pod, and they go to a casino, and all they manage to do at the casino, All they managed to do for no reason is rescue a pair of space horses, and that's it. And then they fly back to the ship that's about to be destroyed. That was the sole purpose of the appearance in the film, to rescue some space horses. They fly them back to the ship that was about to be destroyed, where it turns out that Long Neck Woman has decided that actually it's super easy to hop everyone in a space pod, an escape pod, and launch them down to a planet where the Empire will never ever see them again. And that's it. That's the plan, to hop in an escape pod. It was most disappointing. But then, to make things even worse, she takes her itty-bitty tiny ship here, which the Republic have loads of. She turns it around. She flies it at warp speed right through this big thing here, absolutely destroying it, meaning that any single time we've ever seen in a Star Wars film a huge galactic ship like this, it could have been destroyed just by firing any old unmanned fighter at it at light speed. So why would the Empire anything to ever fear in the first place? So, oh yeah. And then at the end, we see this kid and he's got the Force and everyone gets excited, but we never see him again. That's it. Perfect. Thank you very much, Star Wars.
That's your rebuttal.
You've not seen all the films, have you?
I have.
So you know who she is then. You said, was she a Skywalker? Was she a Kenobi? I thought this was a discussion between two actual Star Wars fans.
And as I said, for people who are listening to my very well-crafted speech, the decision to make her a nobody was that bad. It had to be restructured in the last film to make her a Palpatine.
Right, okay, so... what?
Go.
My hand flipped. So, I can't believe I've forgotten the character's name, but the long neck lady. Why did you focus in on something physical about it? What has that got to do with anything? That's just a straw man argument. Did you realize that in some cultures, neck stretching or neck elongation is actually a thing? So it's got cultural implications as well. So you may just have culturally offended some people watching this, because in some countries it's considered to be a sign of beauty, a sign of wealth, and a sign of loyalty to your husband. Now, Mrs. Blinder never takes her neck rings off. I take the lead off occasionally to let her wander around, but she never takes the neck rings off. She respects her husband, as that long neck lady probably does.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a history and philosophy lesson. If you go back in the old Mayan calendar, you'll often see engravings of people with extraordinarily long necks and lots of inscriptions about how much better they were than everybody else. That's where we get the term head and shoulders above everybody else. That's where it comes from, the old Mayan engravings about these long neck people. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, who made that Star Wars film, is in fact herself descended from people, and Mayans were people. So she kind of indirectly descended from Mayans. So she wrote that character to be literally head and shoulders above everybody else, because she wanted to show that all the old Star Wars characters were no longer needed, and she could create new ones that were head and shoulders above everyone else. So it was kind of like a stab in the back for your Luke Skywalkers and your Han Solos. That's why I focused in on that. I'm sorry that didn't come through my introduction. Maybe I should have been more specific.
Sounds more like a stab in the dark to me, because that just sounds that's more of an excuse rather than an explanation. It doesn't really. But anyway, I don't want to get off topic. I want to stick with what we're here to talk about. So, as a hater of the new Star Wars films, because there's no polite way to put it, I would imagine that, like every other idiot who thinks the new films aren't good, you think it's Disney's fault.
No.
So where's your argument? So I want this one as well then.
I just don't like the films.
The shit because Disney make you can't listen. You've got to be all in or all out. Disney didn't write The Last Jedi.
No, Rian Johnson did.
He did.
And it's his fault. It was rubbish, in my humble opinion.
Now, okay, so if Mickey Mouse had written it or Pluto, then you could have blamed Disney, but you can't blame Rian Johnson. He's just he just writes screenplays and movies. Mickey Mouse didn't do anything to this film.
When we rewind this film, when we rewind this debate, I'm hoping that someone in the comment section can timestamp the point where I said it was Disney's fault. because I don't think we're going to find that.
That's the debate.
What the Disney? It was it. The Disney route Star Wars.
Listen, right? Yeah, I'm bringing Disney into it because every other idiot that says the new Star Wars films are rubbish always blames Disney. So what makes you a different kind of Star Wars hater? What you can't just say they're shit. You have to tell me why they're shit.
I just constructed a 22-slide PowerPoint telling you why it was.
Is that what that was? Is that what that was? And it's funny how in the second mini debate of the evening, I still only need one slide to absolutely destroy you, because the new Star Wars films are absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't care if the Emperor was stood in front of me or sat on your knee telling me that they were rubbish. He'd be wrong as well. Look how old he is. I'd fill him in.
Well, I will agree that there are some scenes in the new films that are tremendous. Right, I will go to the very first scene of The Force Awakens where the stormtroopers are landing. But it also breaks my heart a little bit. Kylo Ren comes out like such a badass. He stops those phaser bolts in midair with his hand. He uses the Force in the way we've never seen it before, and he was absolutely fantastic. But it only then took to the end of the film that this absolute legend and hero got his ass whooped by someone who was held a lightsaber for the first time and didn't even know what the Force was. And so those great bits, those great scenes are always destroyed by scenes that follow. Snoke, when he was, I forget the name of the guy who was in the First Order, one of the higher guys with the ginger hair, when he kind of like from across space.
Ed Sheeran, that was?
Yeah, when he got Ed Sheeran from across space and slammed him on the floor, and absolutely amazing scene. It was brilliant. But then just destroyed when the fact that we kill him without even finding out who he is. And I know there was a sentence dedicated to him in the last film, but I don't know. There were some great bits, but overall, I think
sounds a little bit to me like you're backtracking because you don't want to look foolish again. So you brought up when Luke had a flashback or a memory, whatever it was, and he was gonna kill Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that a bad thing? Why has that made the films not good? Luke was just acting responsibly. He was attempting to train Kylo Ren, and he foresaw what he was going to become. And he decided, for the safety of the whole universe, that the universe would be a safer place without Kylo Ren. And he was right. It was a crucial part of the story. But if Luke had killed Kylo Ren, I would give it to you, the films would be shit because there'd be nothing happening in them. But that's a central part of the story. Kylo Ren is the Darth Vader, if you will, of the newer series of films. I can't see how that crucial part of the story makes them not good films.
But that a standalone bit doesn't make it a bad film. But I'll tell you still why it's a bad part of the film. It's just another thing that urinates all over Luke Skywalker's legacy. If you go back to Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, he was with the two baddest men in the universe. He was with his dad, Darth Vader. He was with the Emperor. And he didn't want to fight Darth Vader. He saw the good in him. And even though Darth Vader had all the powers and all the abilities, he managed to even convert him and save the galaxy. He didn't go in there and try and kill Darth Vader. He took his lightsaber. He said, I'm not going to fight you. He threw it on the ground because he saw the good in people and he wanted to redeem them. So how, when that worked out really well for him and he became a legend, how did maybe 10 years later, 15 years later, that turn into him thinking, oh, it's my nephew, he's a bit of a dick, I'm going to kill him?
But you've just proven my point. He chose not to kill Darth, his dad, Anakin, because he saw good in him. Because he had made the mistake, and he then later on went to make the mistake, I'm trying to make sure I get the timeline the right way around, of choosing to not kill Kylo Ren when he should have, and he would have saved the universe from years of oppression at the hands of Kylo Ren. So him choosing to not kill Star Wars, him choosing not to kill Darth Vader was the right thing to do. Choosing not to kill Kylo Ren was the wrong thing to do, but I still can't see where that fits into making them bad films, because imagine if we had never found out that Anakin Skywalker became Darth Vader and then was Luke's father. Imagine if that element of the original films was missing. They'd be nowhere near as entertaining. So without the flashback to him choosing not to kill Kylo Ren, then there would be a massive plot hole, and I would agree with you then that would spoil the films, but as they are, absolutely perfect.
I think you're remembering the films differently. I think you're remembering them wrong. The fact is, Luke Skywalker did attempt to kill Kylo Ren, but he failed because even his own apprentice was more powerful than him for some reason. He failed, and it was the fact that he tried to kill him that made Kylo Ren turn so vividly against him and towards the dark side. It's as if Luke's attempt to kill him was the catalyst for turning him bad. So if Luke had decided not to even try and kill Kylo, he never would have driven Kylo so much to the dark side, and he would have had the time to train him and save him. So it was Luke's rash behavior that was a catalyst to push Kylo to that dark side.
But him not being able to kill Kylo Ren, surely that demonstrates even more that the at least the attempt to kill him was appropriate, surely. Okay, yeah, he did fail. Kylo Ren was too powerful for him, but Luke was an old man by this time.
But do you accept the fact that when he tried to kill Kylo Ren and Kylo managed to survive, that was the catalyst that turned him away from the light side to the dark side and put him on the path to all the murder that he then committed?
No, I don't, because so you mean, was it Luke's attempt on Kylo Ren's life that turned him to the dark side?
Given the fact that in the immediate aftermath of Luke trying to kill Kylo, Kylo left and formed the Knights of Ren and came back and then killed all Luke's Padawans, I would say, yes, there's good evidence for that.
But everything you're saying just shows that Luke was right to try and kill him. And I don't see how that affects the story or the enjoyment of... So if you buy a big bag of wine gums, a big greedy Welshman size, like I buy... No, I don't. A huge bag. And you're eating them, and there's one wine gum in there that tastes a bit... doesn't taste quite as a wine gum should. Does that then mean that all wine gums worldwide are bad because there was one bad wine gum in your bag? No, it does not. In the same way that there being one scene in a Star Wars movie that you don't like doesn't mean that the new Star Wars films are rubbish.
But you see, it's not one scene. I know we're talking about one scene there, but it's the entire decimation of the old characters, the entire disregard for what the fans wanted to see and expected to see, for the introduction in That Last Jedi of the most ridiculous slapstick comedy that completely changed the tone of the film from being a Star Wars film to some sort of comedy, to the plot that was so ridiculous that it was just a bad film. Start to finish, it was a bad film.
But there's nothing funny about Star Wars. At least I don't think there's meant to be anyway. It's just filled with fantastic special effects. CGI. And loads of it. Look, right, I'm going to make an assessment of you a character, what you're truly like as a person, because this conspiracy cat's nonsense isn't going to wash for much longer. Or your twin, he can do one as well. So you're one of these people that thinks that the progression of science and movie effects and you know, our smartphones, you think it's all out to get you, don't you? You're stuck in the olden times. I bet you've still got dial-up internet, haven't you? Bring, bing, bing, ding, ding. That's why you've always got such a shit picture when we're live. And I bet you've still got a Nokia phone, haven't you? Oh, no, the government aren't watching me. I bet you've got a big piece of black tape over the camera, haven't you? You're one of them guys, aren't you? I've just... Don't worry. Don't reply if you don't want to. I didn't mean to embarrass you a second time, but I can't believe I didn't see it before. You're just stuck in the old days. You can't bring yourself to catch up with the modern age and the wonders of the new Star Wars movies, which is why I'm right and Conspiracy Catz is wrong. Again.
Well, the beautiful thing...
Cats?
Yeah, I mean, just to finish on that before we go to the chat, like, I think the beauty of this is people can watch the film for themselves. And I am convinced that anybody who grew up loving Star Wars went to watch The Last Jedi with loads of hope in their heart that they would see Luke Skywalker being back on screen.
Yeah.
And they would have come out of that movie just, meh, that was a bit rubbish and a bit disappointed. That's what I would
Definitely
think.
Not.
Okay.
I'll pass it over to you, Mod.
Cool. So that's the end of the second mini debate. I'm going to give the same numbers again, not to confuse anyone. So number 1, if you think Father Creekmas won. Number 2 in the chat, if you could please, if you think Conspiracy Catz won. One for Creaky, 2 for Catz. I think you may have had a couple of super chats in there if you wanted to read them out.
Even though that me and the Bell End aren't seeing eye to eye at the moment over these very important topics, I'm going to remain professional and I'm going to address the side chat and thank everybody for the super chats we've received so far. And I'm so important. I'm having the whole stream. You two can wait. I've done most of them. I have been displaying them on the screen, but we've had B-Ball for Life first super chat. Thank you. Christopher Shapley, DVM CVA. Thank you very much indeed. JL Warren says the fact that Creaky thinks vodka and OJ hydrates explains a great deal. It's not. Oh, damn. I didn't mean to do that. Oops.
Oh, that's cool.
I nearly kicked you out completely. I'm bringing you back in. I'm feeling guilty for destroying you twice so far, and there's only one more. Actually, I've already won now, haven't I? Just Jeff, $5 US. This is a novel form of entertainment. Sorry, faux debates, brilliant. I need more. There's no faux-ing going on here.
This is real, especially that second one. I was feeling the heat.
This is serious stuff. Why do you think we miss some weeks? It's because we just can't see eye to eye enough to be able to be together on stream.
Yeah, this has been building up for a while.
Yeah, Luke Mitchell, $4.99. An independent variable is always worth $5. Well, I'm so good at debating, I didn't even need an independent variable. I still won, even without one. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Adam, £2. No message retracted. He was probably telling me how brilliant I did in the first debate. I'll just work off that. Christopher Hodgen, it's bad because they use the same storyline of shut up, he's a anti-Star Wars. I don't care. You're going to have a refund. Keith Milner says, I'm with you, Creaky, but largely because I was an extra in episode 7. I know 2 people from Star Wars now. How many do you know, Catz? Exactly. So that's the super duper chats done.
Lovely stuff. From what I'm seeing in the chat there, this is a lot closer, but I would say Conspiracy Catz took that one.
Thanking you, everybody.
And I bet that's got nothing to do with the fact that you and him are friends, both English, and that he saved you from a doomed life as a flat earther.
Mean, we can go to further adjudication and sort of do a proper recount, but for now, I would say it is 1-1 in the debate.
Okay.
So
we should leave it there. We should leave it there then, yeah. We should leave it there.
I suppose at least he can not feel like a loser for the middle part of the debate then. So I agree with you, Adrian Clark. I clearly won this effect. It's Welshist.
Whoever wins the next will be crowned the best mass debater of 2020.
Ooh. So it's definitely going to be me then. Without the doubt. And I'm more than happy to provide proof. Actually, no, I best not. I like the crown. Anyway.
The next one is quite a. This is going to go pretty to the wire, I'd imagine.
This could be where the dumpster fire. Why am I blurry? This could be where the dumpster fire comes in. Oh no! I'm back.
Cats versus dogs. So I shall have Conspiracy Catz go first.
Okay.
I'm going to assume you're going to be fighting for dogs.
I'm Oh, you know what? We never actually agreed. I wonder if we're going to end up doing
But let me just say this, and this is in no way intended to influence how things go. I hate cats.
Oh, well, cool. I'll go for cats.
We're talking about the animal, though, Creaky. We're talking about the animal.
Yeah, I really don't like cats.
Right, I'm screen sharing. I'm screen sharing.
Oh, right, okay.
Cool. So yeah, if Katz wants to give up to 5 minutes of an opening statement, is
that a cat or a dog?
This. See, that's how bad The Last Jedi was. This is a kid from the end of The Last Jedi. That's how bad it was. Right, this I won't need all my 5 minutes here. I did some research today, sharpish, even though me and Creaky hadn't decided who was going for cats and dogs. We did some research. I did some research today, and I followed around some cats and dogs to observe their behaviour, so I could use informed judgment and primary observations to draw my real world conclusions. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I saw. The first dog of the day, I saw this. The second, I then saw a cat. Now, this dog is actually looking at a cat that is near it. And the cat that it was looking at, or the cats, were doing this on a carpet that didn't have poo on it. I then carried on looking for more dogs and cats, and the next dog I came across was doing this. But the very, very next cat I saw, right, that this dog was looking at, was doing this. Right? Now, these are primary observations, by the way. Primary observations. I kept looking, and then I saw this dog that hadn't only pooed, but it was somehow pooing on the wall, stood on its front legs, wiping the poo as far down the wall as it possibly could. I don't even know what it was. And the owner was on a lead watching it. I don't even, did the owner wipe the poo off the wall afterwards for it? I don't know, but that's what that dog was doing compared to this cat that I saw that was just doing this. And I started to notice a pattern in behavior between cats and dogs. Cats and dogs. I then saw this dog doing this. All right. And I start to think, is it the fact that dogs don't understand how to use the toilets? Because, there we go. Cat, that one's pooing inside. But cats, when they poo inside, they do this. Cats know exactly what they are doing. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to make the argument that cats are more intelligent than dogs. I'm not going to make that argument because that argument was settled. And you know what? It was settled when the number of neurons and the density of neurons inside the brain between cats and dogs was actually properly studied. And it turns out that dogs have twice the density of neurons in their cerebral cortex as cats, meaning that dogs are unquestionably more intelligent than cats. And what does that mean? That means if a dog
it means you're really helping my case.
No, it means that if the dogs are unquestionably more intelligent than cats, then this cat here is making the most of what it's got. And this dog here is deliberately being a dick. This cat is making the most of what it's got, but this dog here is deliberately being, it knows what it's doing. It knows you don't poo on someone's garden. This dog knows that a wall isn't there to wipe the fecal matter as it comes out of your bum against. This dog is deliberately being a dick because it is clever enough to know that its actions are reprehensible. His actions are reprehensible. So, yes, dogs are more intelligent and they act like filthy animals because of it. So how are you going to defend that? I turn that over to Creaky.
It's just beyond easy. Go on, Seek Truth.
Yeah, mate. Brilliant there, Cats, but can Creaky do better?
Now, I've got a real slide for this, and this slide is to prove a point because, again, I'm failing to see why you don't think dogs are really cool and the best pets ever. So, and you haven't got a laser pointer like I have. So, there's a point ahead for Creaky. So, when you leave home in the morning and you've got a cat, I don't even know if you've got a cat. Actually, I don't care. It doesn't matter whether you've got a cat or a dog or a hamster or a goldfish called Jeff. Dogs are still better than cats. So when you leave in the morning, the orange line here represents cats because they're stupid and selfish and, well, just generally evil. Flat earthers bang on about the Illuminati being evil. I've never seen any of them getting nervous about a cat, and they should. And the blue line represents our four-legged, furry doggy friends. So when you leave home, your cat, as represented by this graph, just instantly forgets about you, doesn't give a monkey's. He doesn't care whether you're alive or dead. And on the other side, when you leave home, your dog instantly shits his pants and thinks that you've left him forever or you're dead. Now, when you get home, your excuse me, your cat doesn't know if you've been gone 5 minutes, 5 hours, and his reaction shows that. But that applies to dogs as well. Dogs have no concept of time. Mine definitely doesn't, which is why I'm up about 5 o'clock every morning. But if I'm gone for 7 hours and I come back, I get the same affectionate greeting as I get if I'm gone for 5 minutes. You don't get that with cats. Cats just want to scrape your eyes out. Cats just want to be sly and slither and creep around. You think they don't shit in the house? When was the last time you looked in the back of your sock drawer? Do it now. I guarantee there'll be a little cat turd in there. Or probably a big cat turd. Cats are just, it's almost like a joke that somebody once said for a prank, oh, you should get a cat. Cats make the most amazing pets. And I promise you, it'll never try to scram your face or gouge one of your eyes out and partially blind you. And it'll always be hyper intelligent. And I know you conceded that dogs are more intelligent, but I would just like to prove why cats are so much stupider than dogs. If I can find the right doohickey, by the use of this video. What the hell is it doing? I can see why you're happy to agree that cats are stupid. It's because, look at him. What a pleb. He's going to break it next. Oh, no, he's not. Cats are afraid of water. How stupid does this cat have to be? He's going after a tap. I mean, if real live footage with absolutely no CG required to prove it. Oh, look at this bell end. You just say, well, this is good one, can you? Well, he's going to get himself stuck now. Then his owner, he'll have to go out and buy a new saw. He'll have to phone the vet. Ask Chris Shapley how much it would cost to prize a stupid animal out of a wooden shed. Look at him. No, that's your tail, you bell. Oh my God. Do I need to take this any further? Now I know, and believe me, I know this better than most, that intelligence isn't always a sign of how loyal you are and how loving and friendly. But cats seem to be going out of their way to prove they're stupid and to prove they're sly. I honestly cannot fathom why anybody would want, and I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. Do you know one thing worse than cats? And sorry, Simon Dan, you know I love your show and you know I listen to all your podcasts, but a giant cat? Are you mad? That thing looks as if it could tow your car if it broke down. Massive. That's why you've sold your car, isn't it? I know you like to run, but you if you've got to go down the shops, you just throw a saddle on your cat because that thing is huge. And if a tiny little kitty cat this size is a danger and a sly piece of, I won't lower myself, then imagine how bad a giant cat is. That actually scares me. Giant cats should have gone out with the dinosaurs and stayed gone. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Okay, well, that was a pretty good comeback there, I must admit. So we'll have a little back and forth now, I think. So, Catz, have you got anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, there's one thing I want to start with. I don't know if my debate opponent tonight is aware, but I quite often do things that debunk flat earthers, and sometimes I'll debate flat earthers. I don't know if he's aware of that. And one of the things I often criticise flat earthers for is for bringing evidence which is totally unreliable from the most ridiculous of sources. And what I'd like my esteemed opponent to do, please, is could he bring back up the graph that he had on the screen earlier on?
Absolutely.
Is that possible? Now, because what can I say about a man who uses this graph as evidence? He is using this graph of evidence of affection given by different types of pets from pet owners who are willing to wait. If you look to the bottom, that x-axis there, who are willing to wait over 5 years before they go back and see their own pet. What kind of pet owner is a good judge of affection from a pet when they would conduct an experiment where they will then leave that pet for 5 years and then come back and say, this is a memory test. Not an affection test.
People are leaving animals alone for 5 years. I mean, how stupid are you? This is merely an example of what would happen. It doesn't say anywhere that anybody actually left their dog or cat for 5 years.
So it's not based on data.
People that takes everything literally, whether it's required or not. This is an illustration. This isn't real life.
So it's not based on any data. Can you show me, yes or no, can you show me the data that this is based on? Or does it not exist?
If I could remember which website I stole this image from, I probably could. But you've got me on that one.
So the people who give you the data are people who are willing to leave their animals alone for 5 years and then be arrogant enough to think that they are judges of the affection that an animal... This shows cats are cleverer, because if I left my cat alone for 5 years and come back, of course it's going to look at me and go, screw you, buddy, you've been gone for 5 years. The fact that a dog is happy to go, oh, hello, nice to see you again after 5 years and give you all that same love and affection shows that that cat is an idiot. But we know cats have more neurons firing away up here, which leads us back to the personality disorder that I was telling you about dogs before, because even though they're intelligent, they deliberately act like mugs. They deliberately poo on your carpet. They deliberately poo on your garden. They deliberately enjoy narcissistic behavior and neglect like that. And I don't like animal neglect. So the fact that you've brought animal neglect into this debate sickens me.
So you were trying to tell me that you've never come home from the pub and accidentally had a shit in the hall, and you expect me to believe that?
You don't have to put
as well.
You don't have to put the word accidentally just because it's me. I've come home, but I'm not a dog, and the dogs don't go to the pubs. Listen, the dogs do this deliberately. All I'm saying is, I think I've destroyed that piece of evidence now because it's obviously written by people who neglect their animals. And so therefore, the amount of affection a neglected animal is willing to show you is not a true reflection of how loving that animal is. What it is an awareness of how neglected that animal is. Or at the very best, a memory test because the cat's probably forgotten what you look like. So given that we can dismiss that evidence in its entirety, what was your other piece of evidence?
Can we? Because if you look at the graph again, what it actually says is after 5 minutes, both the cat and dog have completely different reactions. The cat doesn't. You said he wouldn't. He'd say, "Oh, screw you, buddy. You've left me for 5 years." You wouldn't be his buddy. You never were his buddy. You're just kidding yourself. He wouldn't even know who you were. You don't call a complete stranger buddy. That's just presumptuous and rude. He would just be a bell-end cat because he wouldn't care either way. He wouldn't care whether you left him or not because he's too stupid to know. And if he was one of these so-called hyper-intelligent cats, he'd probably have spent that 5 years plotting to kill you. And he may well. So check them by your feet when you jump into your bed tonight.
Let's look further down that x-axis, shall we? Right, and we'll do that 5 minutes. We'll do that 5 minutes. What this is showing, if this is based on real data, which we both know it isn't, because if it is, it's based on data created by people who neglect their animals and pets. But that 5 minutes, what that's telling me is a cat is perfectly able to go for 5 minutes without having a mental breakdown. Whereas the dog, because of its, like we said, its personality disorder, which we've proven as fact today, quantitatively proven fact, because of the personality disorder of the dog, it can't go for 5 minutes without having a complete mental breakdown afterwards. So if anything,
if you'd rather a pet that really doesn't love you at all, then be a cat weirdo. All I'm saying is dogs are much better pets, and in my humble opinion, an all-around better animal. Because let me ask you this. Give me one example of a guide cat, or a service cat, or a Saint Bernard type cat that's rescued somebody from the bottom of a well. What was Lassie?
Loads.
Oh, that's right. Lassie was a dog.
No, I've got loads of examples of that. And you've obviously not watched my YouTube channel, because if you go on my YouTube channel, all my evidence is there. All right? Work for Howard Stirrup last week, it's going to work for me now. All my evidence, all my primary observations of cats rescuing people are on my YouTube channel. But you want to judge, you can't judge the quality of a pet based on animals that are trained to guide the blind or look after it. That's not the quality of a pet. The quality of a pet is how long does it live, how expensive is it, how much mess does it make, you know, how much does it make you comforted? Does a dog comfort you because it jumps up at you every 5 minutes because it's not seeing you? No, it knocks a tea out your hand, it knocks a beer out your hand, it knocks stuff all over the floor because it can't contain itself, it can't hold its shit together. A cat can do that. It will just hop onto your lap, let you stroke it, and then it'll disappear. You can go to bed. Everybody's calm. Not like a dog, right? Everything is calm with the cat.
Everything is calm with the right dog. It sounds to me like is there some sort of doggy issue from when you were a kitten that's turned you into this crazy cat guy?
I'm just using logic and common sense and reason. And I'm being presented with data which is obviously either fake or it is produced by people who neglect animals. I had primary observations I showed you.
But you're still failing to see that this is just what would happen, in the same way as, you know, some of the greatest physicists of our times are trying to predict what may happen in the universe in 500 years, in 500 million years. It's the same thing. You don't go to those physics people that you like sucking up to and say, but you haven't been 500 million years into the future. How could you possibly know? You just take them at face value because they're just doing the best they can to show you what they think would be going on in the universe in 500 million years. In the same way as my graph that I keep pointlessly pointing to because nobody can see me pointing shows us that this is what would happen, not what has happened, what would happen if you left a cat and a dog on their own for 5 years. Cats are useless, and you're proving it, if you don't mind me saying.
No, that is a complete... Because if you went to a proper physicist, a theoretical physicist or an astrophysicist, and you ask them to justify why they think something's going to happen. Now, they may not be 100% sure, but they can justify it. They will show you the peer-reviewed scientific papers that they have published that's based on real current science that are the reasons, the backbone of how they've made those predictions for the future. And I'm going to say this again because you keep forgetting it. Your graph is based on either no data that they can't show the reasoning behind or data collected by people who abuse their pets. And therefore, they are not good judges of how to predict affection from pets because they are animal abusers. Now, it's not my fault you brought a graph produced by people who abuse animals. It's not my fault that is the data you brought. But you can't compare the two. I hope I made that point.
You've made no point at all, which has been the whole point of this debate. No point at all. Now, Christopher Shapley, DVM CVA, who just happens to be a personal friend of mine and a veterinary doctor with 6 letters after his name and working on the next 3. So he's far more important. How many letters have you got after you? No, don't answer that. Creaky Blinder, there are more dog elected officials than cat elected officials. Dogs, and that's because dogs are the best. Cats are not. I can't see why you can't just graciously admit defeat and acknowledge that dogs are just better in every way.
So let's just summarise for the people in the chat what happened in this section of the debate. In this section of the debate, I went out and I carried out primary observations where I photographed cats and dogs, and I showed that dogs behaved in a much worse way than cats. And then we looked at peer-reviewed science that showed cats were less intelligent than dogs, which means dogs are deliberately choosing to behave in these ridiculous ways. In response to that, Creaky brought a graph in which somebody's either just made it up and drawn it, or people have abused their pets by leaving them alone for 5 years and then thought they were good enough judges of animal nature to then ascertain the affection that a pet will give you, when really all they've done is either made up the data or they've created a memory test to see which of those two pets remembers you best, because it's been 5 years since you've been around. And how are they even still alive after 5 years? I don't know. I've done primary observations. We've got nothing back there.
Well, Father Creakmas, as Conspiracy Catz had the last sort of minute there, do you have your one last final rebuttal?
No, he's done.
I do. Everything you've presented to me has just been pictures on a screen, and I did my observations. Can you show me? And I don't want to see it on paper. I don't want your stupid whiteboard coming out. Yeah, we all know you're a teacher. Ooh. I want to see a cat being better than a dog right here, right now.
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. Let's just screen share again.
I can hear you tapping away on your keyboard, doing a bit of
got it. I'm ready to screen share. You're not presenting it.
I need an actual.
All you need to do is present.
an actual stuff. Because I can go and get a real life dog.
Look, I've got a real life dog. I took this picture today. This dog isn't even being so nice as to poo on the floor. It's pooing up the side of a wall so its owner can't pick it up, and then wiping its bottom all the way down the wall. That is a dog not being as good as this cat. So there is a cat being better than a dog. That's exactly what you asked for. That's exactly what I've shown you. Can you show me?
How many cats? Show me a picture of a cat doing a handstand then, smartass.
You want to see a picture of a cat doing a handstand?
You can't, because cats aren't clever enough to do handstands. Dogs are. Cats are just evil, like the people that choose to keep them as pets.
Nobody believes cats are less agile than dogs. Nobody believes that.
Nobody's watched any of your videos then, obviously, have they?
Can you personally do a handstand, Conspiracy Catz? We may accept that if you personally did one right now.
No problem. You ready? You just want to see me upside down? My hands. Okay.
I knew he was going
to. Okay, so. Oh, my shoulders, they are burning.
Do I need to call in the big dogs to settle this once and for all? But
you've just seen the big guns, mate. Handstand.
I've got a really small dog, which is nowhere near as impressive. But I've heard nothing throughout this debate that even makes me consider the possibility that cats are better than dogs. And it all comes down to one simple fact, that they are not. And I've got no more to say on the subject. We will let the audience decide.
Okay, we'll stick to the same numbers again. Father Creakmas, number 1 in the chat if you think he won. Number 2 for Conspiracy Catz. This is the last debate of the evening, and whoever takes this takes the crown. Excellent stuff. I think you did have another super chat. Did you read it out, mate?
Side chat are asking me if I can do a handstand. No, I cannot, because I am not a cat or a crazy cat guy. Keith Milner super chatted again. The argument seems to be that dogs are emotionally weak and attention seeking. So does that mean that dogs are the perfect flat earther's pet? Crouching Tiger Hidden Adam says dogs have social events named after them. Catting isn't a thing. Oh yeah, sorry love, I'm just going out catting tonight.
Have you never been catting?
No.
Believe it. Oh, it must be an English thing. Not really. Yours is, what was it, sheeping over there?
I was going to say, is dogging a thing? I don't know, I'm not familiar. Speak truth.
Excellent.
Speak truth actually won the debate. How can that be?
Oh, Faux Hammer 335, what a legend. Yeah. He's had a debate actually himself against Rad Vlad on Team Skeptics channel. So Faux Hammer's now getting into debating and things. He's a great lad.
Hang on a second. Right, that's it. I've kept my patience as long as I can.
Can we stop spamming the chat?
I've kicked him. He's just being a child. He just cannot graciously accept defeat. I mean, I'll just pluck a name out of the air. Nathan Oakley type behaviour.
Yeah.
Sprinkled with a little bit of Nathan Thompson. And that Gary IOW is just as bad. And Journey's End is doing the same, but that's absolutely fine because he keeps typing 1. So that's brilliant.
His comeback.
He'll only sulk again.
That's not your sock account, though, is it, Creaky?
I do not have a sock account because I rarely wear shoes anymore, so I don't wear socks that often enough to need an account. I only wear trousers for special occasions now, mate.
I think the sore loser's back.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I have to let him back in.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we need some more votes because basically Conspiracy Catz just kept voting for himself over and over again. So.
Childish, if you ask me. Unless, of course, I will be the bigger man and say that I'm happy to accept the draw because the voting seems to be completely rigged. So if you want to consider it a dead heat, and we'll revisit this the next time you wind me up, I'm happy to do that.
I will consider this a draw. I will shake your hand on that.
I'm not touching you.
That wasn't your hand, was it? Sorry, mate. I tickled you in the right place.
No, do it again.
No, that goes.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, Royal Python.
Daybreaker Flint says we're both wrong anyway. Royal Pythons are the best. My kids used to have a Royal Python as a pet. Nobody cares about. Full hammer, I'm with you all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking
I should demand a recount. Because it seems.
Let me make an executive decision. I'm going to scan through it again.
There's something very Trump-esque about the way the voting was handled in the third mini debate of the evening.
There's a lot of spams in there.
It was. I love spam, but not in the pie chat.
I had spam fritters the other night.
Oh, really? Lovely.
Yeah, they sell them in Iceland and other good ice food selling places.
Fried spam you want to try? Oh,
yeah, that was beautiful.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. And isn't it funny, because I'm not speaking to Kat anymore, so I'll just speak to you, and we'll have to exchange numbers after, because I've been looking for a new co-host for a while.
Yes.
And I like your hairstyle. It keeps in with the aesthetic of the channel. It's very in keeping with the style we have here at Agree to Disagree Debates.
Looking forward to it, pal.
I know I'm losing the will to live now. So yeah, are we having a recount or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to call it a tie. I cannot choose between you.
That's
I
fair.
just honestly think
That's
like.
fair.
Maybe we should do maybe if you create a community post and then say that final debate, and then count it up maybe like that as a sort of post show thing. But
That's not a bad idea,
actually. I
That's not a bad idea. I'll leave that up to the crazy cat person, though. It's about time he started doing something around you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Not a problem.
Cool. That was fun. Actually. I really enjoyed
Is it wrong that I've enjoyed this as much as I have? And what was the best about it was the number of people that commented in the side chat before the stream had even started, asking what was wrong. Is there trouble in paradise? Have they fallen out? I knew this wouldn't last.
I knew that. Oh, that one hurt. That one. I knew it. Oh no. Oh dear me. It's been fun. It has been fun. I have enjoyed it, and yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do something light-hearted, haven't you? Just for no reason other than it's a good laugh. And
yeah, I mean,
we don't need a good laugh now.
I don't want to be doing any more like debunking videos and things at the minute. Just it's the end of the year. Let's just all have a giggle. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah. This gets a bit too serious.
This is the one thing, you know, and you've seen this from both sides, Seek Truth, Speak Truth, the difference in the communities on either side of the fence. It's night and day. Literally night and day.
Yeah.
I can't it's always puzzled me. Oh God, I'm clicking buttons I shouldn't be clicking now. It's always puzzled me why somebody would want to remain involved in such a unfriendly in group of people, such an unfriendly environment. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. They won't see it though. They won't see it. I don't think.
No, I know. Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. I bet Howard is watching this as well, Catz.
He might have picked up some tips. So
yeah, possibly, because I think we've given him enough content for the next year. He's milking the bejesus out of it, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, for anyone who didn't see that, yeah, George Howard Stirrup, he came on, it was 2 weeks ago. Was it last week? No, it was last week, wasn't it? Or was it the week before? 2 weeks ago.
No, week before. Yeah, week before.
Yeah, I was all covered up last week, wasn't I? Yeah, he came on and rage quit. And he's gone completely bonkers on it on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that.
I just blocked him everywhere now. He was getting on my tits, he was, so I just blocked him on all social media because it's like, oh, get a grip, mate. You think the earth is flat? Do you honestly think I care? It was just aggravating. Literally, every time I picked my phone up because I'd had a notification on Instagram, it was that bell end sharing something. He's just resharing the same thing over and over with slightly different slides, blocking. I can't remember if it was you or me in the top, one of us anyway. And then Nathan which one's the biggest? But the Nathan Thompson was in his comment section as well, calling me the Freaky Blinder. I wish I'd thought of that before I named my channel the Creaky Blinder.
It's good that. I didn't think he had that.
Not only did he get me going, but he could have helped me name my channel. Imagine how much cooler that would be. Freaky Blinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting some mileage out of that cat. He's a complete bell end. So, audience, side chat, what did you think of this? Was this good fun, or do we just now look really stupid? I thought it was brilliant.
I had a great time. It was fun. We are back with a proper debate next week, but I thought it was fun. We've had another couple of supers rolling as well. I think they're creepy.
We've had more come in yet. I think Crouching Tiger Hidden that. So Faux Hammer. I read that one out, didn't I? Speak Truth, Seek Truth actually won the debate. Or Seek Truth, Speak Truth. I always say the wrong bloody way round. Daybreaker Flint. Pythons, I've read that one. I Demand a Recount, I've read that one as well. Jim Broughton.
Yep.
Let me explain the confusion over that, right? So I live in Swansea, which is right on the edge of the Gower Peninsula, a beautiful part of Wales, right? If we had the sunshine, we would never need to go abroad on holiday. It's absolutely fantastic. And there's an area in the Gower called Broughton, and Broughton Farm is there. And that's how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Broughton. Don't ask me why, it's Wales. And that's why when I see that, to me, that's Jim Broughton. Or is it the other way around and he is Jim Broughton and I kept saying it doesn't matter, but yeah, useless fact of the night. And Mission Apparition Paranormal, I think it was, has become a channel member. Thank you, pal. And just quickly, guys, while we're on that topic, because I've been so engrossed in destroying people right, left and center. At the moment, I don't know if anybody's aware, but if you are a YouTube premium user in either the UK, America, for some reason South Korea, Japan, and Spain, maybe, I can never remember, you can actually become a channel member here, completely free. if you're a YouTube premium user. So if you pay, like the monthly amount for YouTube, you can become a channel member completely free of charge, and it supports the channel because we still receive exactly what we would receive if you were paying. But YouTube are covering the cost of it up until midnight on New Year's Eve. So if anybody is interested, not interested, I'm sure a lot of you are interested. Catz and I would thoroughly appreciate the support. So if you are a YouTube premium user, do it now. Catz?
Sounds cool. I just want to say I've had an absolutely brilliant time. I want to thank this man, Speak Truth, for coming and running the show, mate. Because otherwise, it would have got tetchy. It just turned into a complete dumpster fire. So thank you for keeping it on toes, mate.
It was close. No, really. I think I did well to control my temper and to not slap anything, or I won't say what I was going to say next, but I did none of those things. I think I behaved impeccably, like a true professional. And this hat is absolutely boiling. I gotta take it off.
I'm the same with this jumper, and I'm desperate to get it off. But
oh dear me.
Three bald heads now.
I know.
I got look.
High testosterone levels apparently though, so
if we banged our heads together, we could make an omelette.
It's like Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall at the minute, isn't
it? Yeah. You and I are balancing on the corners of Catz, so you better not move around too much. We'll slip off the edge. Guys, have you Speak Truth? Have you got anything coming up that you want to plug before we go? Or I'm interrupting you. Proper rude debater style. Who got a shout out from that Sniper Wolf then?
Oh yes, mate. Yeah. I mean, not a shout out, I suppose. I mean, she was kind of like taking the piss out of that meme, weren't she? But just the attention even that brought to the channel was amazing.
She showed it enough, and it must have benefited you in some way, surely.
Yeah. I mean, her main base of subscribers obviously don't really care about what I'm doing. But loads of people came over and showed me support and stuff, so it was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that was great. And then January, Simon Dan's podcast I'm on. So how I got on that list, I don't know, with the guests he's had so far.
I'm really enjoying the podcast. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That is.
He's got some brilliant guests lined up, yourself included. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if you had bloody Neil deGrasse Tyson on there or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, Catz is probably going, "Oh shit, he's ruined the." But no, like I obviously wouldn't have a clue. But it's that big, and I couldn't believe I got asked. If you know what I mean. So that was incredible.
Listen, I haven't got a clue, and it hasn't stopped me.
Yeah, I know. That's it, mate. That's it. Like, just. Yeah, it's just an amazing thing. What truth can do to your life, and admitting you're wrong. So any flat earthers, there probably aren't any sitting here, but take a second guess and think again.
I know. It just seems like such a waste of your life, and
that is waste of time. Absolutely. That's what I say to people. I get emotional on there sometimes, and I just say, "You're wasting your time. You literally, you're wasting your life. You might as well be chasing for unicorns in a forest." Yeah.
I know. This is the thing. This is what I've said before. We've all seen Catz do it and Fight the Flat Earth and all the other guys debating flat earthers. It's just really anyone can debate a flat earther. Let them spurt off all they want, and then you just say, "Yeah, but the Earth isn't flat, is it? So this is completely pointless and childish." Because it isn't. And when you to do what you did, and I've always said this, I don't know if you've ever heard me say it before, but I think is incredibly brave, because you were literally throwing yourself to the dogs, because dogs are better than cats. You were literally throwing yourself to a pack of hyenas, and you knew that, I guess, when you decided enough was enough. So good on you, pal.
And that's why, to be honest, I'm shocked more people didn't kind of see what happened to me and actually think like, hang on, I need to check this again. Do you know what I mean? And actually see the response I got was a good one. You know, I'm not saying, you know, if obviously say Oakley came back, we're not going to all get him with open arms, are we? And like, you know, accept him back. Do you know what I mean? There's a line people have gone past probably, but 90% of these guys just come back, man. Like you'd be bloody, you know, but.
But by doing so what? It's kind of like, oh, come back. We can reconvince you that the Earth is flat. So, you know, what other enticement is there? Yeah,
that's just it's just silly. It's silly, man.
Yeah, I know it's nuts. But anyway, I do go on. I know. So and Catz is sitting at the bottom there. He must be starving. He's halfway through his pen already.
Classic.
Are we done, gentlemen?
I think so. I am itching like hell in this. I've got to go and get it off. It's killing me.
I bet you ain't got a t-shirt under there, and you've got like runner's nipple, ain't you? Going on.
Nipple
yeah, it's not great. So I'm gonna go and sort that out. But it's been brilliant, really good fun.
Right, don't worry. When you come back downstairs now, I'll rub cream into them for you.
Classic.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you to everyone who super chatted. Thank you to Seek Truth, Speak Truth for stopping this becoming what could have been the end of a beautiful friendship. Even though I will never concede the fact that I was right on all points and Catz was completely wrong. I'm going to call this 1/4 of a dozen eggs. I see what you did there. Even I can do maths that simple. So yeah, unless anybody's got anything else to say, I think we are out there, guys.
Goodbye. Merry Christmas.
Take care. Merry Christmas, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Peace.